Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Crew Talk, brought to you by Shoots.video. I'm Sarah Marantz, and I'm very excited to be your host today. And we have two very awesome guests with us on the panel today. We have JJ and Jen. Hello, JJ.
Hello. Hey, guys.
So let's just take a second, and you can kind of tell us who you are, where you are, and kind of what you do. JJ, you want to go first?
Sure. So I am JJ Englert. I'm the founder of Industry Jump and Jump Studios. I'm also a PJ film producer. I spent the last 10 years in Los Angeles, and now I am in New York, in upstate New York.
Very cool. We are glad to have you. Thanks for being here. And hello, Jen.
Hi, how are you? I'm an indie filmmaker based out of LA, and I make independent drama and comedy feature films.
Very cool. Well, I have my list of questions as always, but just a note to our viewers, if you have any questions throughout this Crew Talk, you can drop them in the Q&A box and we will definitely get to them. But JJ, why don't you tell us a little bit about Industry Jump and Jump Studios?
Sure. Yeah. So Industry Jump is a community for content creators that are looking to learn new skills, grow their video business with new gigs, and then manage the video business on the Jump Studio side. And so we originally started about 3 to 4 years ago, really just focused on the hiring side. I felt a lot of that pain points as a producer. I was doing, 20, 30, 40 videos a year, doing 20 to 40 crew members per each video. So staffing up was really hard for me, finding that verified crew member, valuable crew member in whatever state I was producing. And so I initially turned to Industry Jump as a hiring platform. And then just content changed throughout the year, ways content was made with the content creators and, the types of content and content becoming king, and just so much content needed that we've kind of shifted towards that content creator, that video business owner that is either a solo operator or is working with a small team, and they go out and shoot maybe 5, 10, 15 videos a month for social media videos, branded videos, web content. A lot of the content that you see that are powering ads are being shot by these content creators. And business is booming for them, and we are trying to help them grow their video businesses and give them the tools they need to succeed.
Very cool. That's awesome. Can you kind of walk us through like how it was created? Like you got the idea and you're like, okay, I want to make this happen. How do I do this? And just from start to finish, like how long has it taken?
Dude, it's been so hard. So I started as a filmmaker, right? And I was just like, I just want to put together a small little platform, but I don't know anybody that can build it. So I started finding some people, and I eventually found one person who was an ex-Microsoft engineer. And he's like, okay, I can build this for like 50 to 60 grand. It would be like 6 to 7 months. And I was like, oh, that's quite expensive, but maybe I can make it happen. Um, and I made it happen. I raised some money from friends and family, and we spent 6 to 7 months building it, and it was like 30% done. And we're like, oh my God. And this just got into like this snowballing thing of just raising more money, building more stuff. But we did it because we were finding success in it. Like we were talking with creators and they could use, the solutions we were building, and we saw a lot of promise in it. And I just love that tech side of it. I became a filmmaker personally to bring ideas to life, to help people, accomplish what they want to do, and to like feel real emotions with my movies and whatnot. And so one of the things I found with technology is that if you create something like for a movie, for example, most likely they see it once and maybe a second time if they love it, but that's it. But with technology, you can create long lasting impact on a daily basis or a weekly basis. And I just love that part of it, being able to help people on that daily basis pursue their dreams within the film industry, because that's also my dream. So I just kept getting deeper and deeper into it. We raised some money from investors. We raised a little pre-seed angel investment round. We got into an accelerator in San Francisco. And so now it's 3.5 years in. We have a large community of content creators, over 5,000 across the world. We have a podcast called Learn Videography, where we teach content creation and how to grow video businesses. We have an online mentoring suite where you can reach over 60 different mentors in all different areas of filmmaking to learn editing or directing or producing. And then we just launched Jump Studios, which is a project management platform. And at the earliest stages now, it's a video review suite. So you can upload a video, send it to a client via a review link, and then your client can just click anywhere on the screen, leave notes via time code, and you can communicate that way. And so it cuts out all the emails back and forth, all the phone calls of like, hey, I want to change this or whatnot. and it makes it really quick and easy to deliver a video. And then once that video is finalized and ready for delivery, you can just send them all the final assets in one presentation link. So we're finding a lot of success with Jump Studios early on, and we're really excited to see how content creators can use it for their business.
That's an awesome overview. Thank you for that. And congratulations on just launching Jump Studios. Like it just
Thank
launched this
you.
past week, correct?
Yeah.
That's so cool. So Jen, when you're hearing about this and you're hearing everything that Industry Jump and Jump Studios can do, what goes through your mind? Like how does that excite you?
Well, a lot. I mean, both sides of it are exciting because one thing I've found in trying to find qualified crew people, and I just made a film in Texas. I went back home to make a film. I really like regional filmmaking and getting
Yeah.
out of LA and working with local crew. But,
It's
there's
hard to
not a lot
find
of
them.
great avenues for connecting with
Yeah.
professionals. And you end up resorting to weird Facebook groups that you heard about through some
Yeah.
strange network,
Yeah.
and it's like it's a mess. So
Yeah.
I really am excited about the possibility of also, connecting dots with people that
Yeah.
are great, that are vetted.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And then on the other side of it, delivery, we do some editing in my work where we do smaller projects and have to deliver to clients. And there are starting to be more tools for better managing that, but
Hmm.
when you have a team and lots of different versions flying around, it's
Yeah.
really important to be able to see each person's comments, separate them, have the time coded comments. It saves so much time.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get comments back and they're just like, can you change this here with no reference? So I think
Yeah.
both sides of it are extremely valuable for different reasons.
Yeah.
So
You know,
I find that really compelling.
it's funny you talk about the hiring side, and I felt the same pain points as a producer. And but hiring's really difficult in the film industry. It's so personal. It's so relationship based, And so when we put together Industry Jump, we really wanted to do, create trust within the platform. So the people that you're hiring for the first time, you can trust them to show up and that they know how to run a generator, et cetera, because it's a really high pressure situation that us filmmakers are in. So we've always put trust first. We have a strong review system. We have a strong transparency throughout the whole platform, but we've still had a hard time with it because at the end of the day, filmmakers just want to hire who they know. And if they don't know anybody, they will trust a referral of someone that they wanted to hire, their referral. And then you just go referral to referral to referral. And then it's like, well, 3 vouchers down, I found this person and I hope they work out. And most times they do, but I would like to see more from the film industry of being able to hire just the best talent uh, in this area, not because you know of them, but just because they're the best for the job. And I feel like we're still not getting there. It's more about who you know still, rather than this person's well qualified and has great credentials, but I don't know them yet.
What is your vetting process for the site?
Yeah, so we don't personally vet everyone, but we do have a profile review and scoring system. And so those that have more credentials, more reviews, better reviews, a lot of different things go into it, get ranked higher, and we can easily show you kind of who is the most qualified for this job,
Mhm.
right? And so there's also with the review system, we verify all the identities of the people that are leaving the reviews and whatnot. And the review system is quite in depth. So we don't personally do background checks, which I'd love to do in the future, but we do have an advanced algorithm kind of giving you the best shot of the talent in this area for this gig and show them, the user, what kind of videos they've worked on, the budget for those videos, what their roles were on those videos, and a lot more.
So someone's profile page, and we'll get into, joining the site and all that, but if you go to someone's page, it'll list, photo, credits, examples of work, all of that is right on their profile.
Yeah, a quick bio, links to their personal site, to the IMDb, their resume, and then all of the videos that they've worked on, the roles on the videos, the video budgets that they worked on, and then the reviews, who reviewed them. You can even contact the reviewer to inquire about the review they left about that person. And then we have an overall profile score, which kind of sums it all up to let you know like how this person is well-rounded. Yeah.
So say I join and my score, I don't know, is it based on like 1 to 10? Is that how you score it?
It's 0 to 100.
0 to
Everyone
100.
starts at
Okay.
75. Everyone
Okay.
starts at 75. Yeah.
So if everyone starts at 75, like how do I raise my score to 85?
You just complete your profile. You add more
Oh,
stuff to your profile. You add more videos, your resume. Each element is a factor towards that algorithm.
got it.
There's a lot of folks that join and they don't do anything with their profile. It's just empty. And then they're like, why aren't we getting hired? And it's like, well, no one knows what you can do. You know, they don't know your credentials. They don't know your background. They don't know the videos you worked on. And it's hard enough to get hired online as it is. So if you are going to join a hiring platform for the filmmakers out there, you really need to spend the time to get set up right. And, you know, really make it so when a random online person finds your profile, they have everything they need to make that hiring decision. And that will get you in a good place. And I will say that it's great to be on as many of these as possible. I know Shoots Video has a similar hiring platform. The online exposure can never hurt. You know, the SEO ability of it is awesome. Being in those networks is great. You just need to have your hat in as many rings as possible to get that opportunity. And so join them if you can and if you're looking for work.
And it makes sense to have your profile filled out 100% because then it makes it
Yeah,
easy for whoever's looking at it. You know, they don't have to go
right,
searching to other websites or, you know, contact, like everything is right there. So that
right.
absolutely makes sense. I know you were maybe going to show us, like screen share with us to kind of walk us through the site.
Sure. Would you like to see? I have Jump Studio set up. Is that cool?
Let's check it out.
All right, cool.
I'm
Here we go.
excited to see that.
All right. So this is Jump Studios. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Awesome. So here is a video that one of our crew members put on, or community members, and they said we had the right to share in. So this is within the video review suite. So they uploaded this video. It's video version 1. The video is in progress. And so far we have some comments on the right-hand side. And so we can play this video and then we click anywhere on the video, right? And say, well, maybe let's, you know, lower the light over here, right? And then we can just, that comment was then left, as you see over here. It's per the time code. It's also showed up on the time code right here. And so you can go right back to that and say, hey, right over here, lower the light over here. And then your client can just, you know, respond back to that. They can thumbs up it, thumbs down it. They can mark it as complete. And your client, they don't need a profile or an account to sign in or to do anything. They don't need to pay anything. All you need to do is you send them the link. They click anywhere on the screen. They leave their name and their email address, and then they press enter. Their comments are left, and you guys can go back and forth on this. And the only time we email them is when you respond to their comments to let them know, hey, this person responded to your comment, or they completed your comment, or they uploaded a new version for your review. So this is one of the things that I love about our platform is it has version control. So, you know, right now we're working in a rough cut, but we want to get this video to a final cut. So we get comments for the first video, and then when we're ready to give them maybe a fine cut or that final cut, we upload that new version, right? And then it'll be marked as version 2. And then at that point, you can toggle between each version of that video. So if, for example, maybe you cut out something in version 2 that the client really loved, they can just toggle back to version 1 and say, hey, bring back time code 30 to 35 in version 1, put it in version 2, and get me version 3 for a final, stuff like that. You know, so there's a lot of things that goes into this that just makes it really easy for the client to kind of communicate what they're trying to say just by leaving, you know, any kind of drawings on the screen or, you know, kind of communicating what they're trying to say in a really easy to use manner. And of course, it's desktop, it's mobile, however your client wants to review your videos. The important part is that they can get your comments really quickly, because the faster you can turn around a video, the faster you get paid and the faster you can move on to more work. So there's a huge opportunity here to, you know, increase the speed of your post-production timeline and workflow. And then I'll get back out of here. And so this is our review suite, right? And then I'll get back into our profile page. So here's the projects page. Within the projects page, you can create review links, which is what I already showed you. And then you can also create presentation links. So I can go over here, create a presentation link. And what this essentially means is that I am ready to deliver this final video. And I can send the client one video, 10 videos, as many things as I want with one link. And I can just either copy it or I can email it to them. And I can also custom brand this. So I can change the branding here. I can add my logo here. I can change the title here. And then I can also add watermarks to the video. So if I want to add my company watermark to the video, because maybe they haven't paid yet and I want to protect it, I can add my own watermark to the video. If I want to make this content not downloadable yet, I can remove the download ability. So this is a great instance of like, they've approved all of your assets, but they haven't made the final payment yet. So you can send them a presentation link with a watermark on, completely branded, show them all of their assets. And then as soon as that invoice is made, we can allow downloads to happen. And then they can just download everything with one link, one download, and they have everything right there. So a really simple way to streamline your delivery in a really professional manner once they're ready for that. So that's a lot about what we have live right now. It's our review and presentation system. In the future, we are going to make it more of our CRM aspect, where we add, central records for clients and leads. We're going to have an invoicing system so you can invoice your clients and get paid, and then monitor how much you're getting paid and your business income and stuff like that. And then finally have a library of pre-made video contracts. So we'll have over 10 different contracts that you can choose from for your video business, whether it's a production agreement, a retainer agreement, and just make it really easy for you to, take that client from lead to invoicing to contracts to final video review, to final video delivery to payment, and then, move on to the next one. So a lot of what we're doing with Jump Studios is just helping you run your video business to be more effective, more streamlined, efficient. So that way, that one video business owner feels like maybe a team of 3 or 4 or 5, and they can start to grow their operations and focus more time on selling and getting new opportunities, growing the revenue, rather than the busy work of being on client calls for video reviews, all thousands of emails back and forth. Did you get my invoice? All that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of cool things that we can do at this level to increase efficiency. And like one really simple example is once this invoice is paid, I'll automatically make that final presentation link downloadable so they can download the assets. Like really simple stuff like that we can do just by connecting all the systems together to let everyone know like, hey, final payment is good. Here's your download link. Here you go. And so that's the kind of stuff that we're working on now to help content creators kind of run their business better.
It seems like you thought of everything, watermarking the video, taking away or giving if it can be downloaded or not. And then for the future, like invoicing and the contracts thing is brilliant because not everyone, knows how to write a contract or have one written, or you have to pay someone else.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Thank you. We've done a lot of research and we've interviewed at least 70 different content creators of just how they run their businesses. What do they do? What do they not do? And so many content creators said, I don't do contracts yet, but I really want to. I just don't know how to. I don't have the money to pay for it. I don't know how to set it up in my business. And we want to help these folks create a long-lasting business. We want to help them stay protected. We want to help them grow a healthy business that they can create a lifestyle out of. And you need contracts in place to do that. It's just a matter of it's a video business. It's a business. You're running a small business. And so we wanted to enable content creators to be in a position to do that. And so one of the things that we're doing in this contract suite is we're not only giving them the templates, but we're trying to give them explainers of when to use each template of, hey, this would be really good in this type of situation, maybe a crew of 5 or less or budget of this, you should look at this template. Not legal advice, but just recommendations from creator to creator on how they should approach their video business.
That's great. Jen, what are your thoughts on what you just saw for the site and everything?
Well, I nerded out a little bit. I love that you can, highlight or draw on the video the exact spot that you're referencing. I just was going over like reviewing a color correction with a director, and we had to get so detailed in our description because we were trying to do it all virtually and not on the phone and just with,
Yeah.
notes. That tool would have made a really big difference and is unique. I mean, that's not something I see with a lot of the interfaces that I use.
Yeah.
So I
Cool.
loved that. And like you said, being able to toggle different versions and not have to go 3 pages back to a home screen and find a
And
different link,
find that link.
name it the
Yeah.
right thing. And that can get, I mean, that adds up in time. It
Yeah.
really does. And it can cause great confusion. So anything that makes communication like that more specific and clear is going to streamline the whole process. So I loved that.
Cool.
And
Thank you.
and I agree with the contracts piece of it. I think one of the things that's good for both parties, both the client and the person or the business, is that when you're in a business that's small enough that you're one-on-one with individual clients, and is sort of in a freelance kind of model, it ends up being easy to get taken advantage of, whether or not that's the intention. People, they push boundaries. And so I think having this sort of third party, that means that your contract, that little step of making the client feel like, okay, I'm not going to get my asset if I don't, pay this bill on time. It just gives it just that extra little legitimacy that makes people behave themselves.
Yeah. It's tough because it is that relationship business. You
Yeah.
know, a lot of our clients, we like to think of them as friends that we know well and whatnot, but there's a lot of money involved. And when money is involved, it gets tricky. And we want to be able to keep these clients for a long time. And so a way that we do that is we communicate well, we set expectations, and we deliver on our promises. And then when we outline all of that in a contract and a scope of agreement, and if you don't, there's chances for miscommunication. There's chances for things that happen that you don't want to happen. And then not only do you lose that client, but maybe you lose out on opportunities in the future. And it's just so hard to get clients these days. You don't want to lose them. You want to keep them around. You want them to refer you. You want to make them feel like a superstar, and as a one-man band that has to do it all, it's really hard to make them feel like a superstar. But if we can automate some of these things and put a personal touch to it, maybe you can make them feel a little bit more like a VIP.
So, quick question on the invoices. When you open that feature, will you be able to make them customizable? Like you can put your logo on the invoice and all of that?
Of course. The cool thing is, like, once you set up your branding, it's just displayed on all of your documents, from your video review, your contracts, your brand, your invoicing. It's just, we want everything to show like, hey, I'm a professional company, start to finish. We want to deliver that experience for our creators. And it's a big ask. It's a big thing to do. We have a lot of work ahead of us, but we're really passionate about it, and we're in a position to deliver it. So we're optimistic for the future. And at this stage, we are open. Our beta is open for users to start using our video review suite. It's super affordable. It's a great way to get started. And also, the thing I like most is, like, we really want your feedback at this stage, and we are in an opportunity or a place to implement your feedback and to help us all kind of do this together and to make a really cool platform together, by content creators for content creators. So I don't think there's a lot of opportunity in this space to normally do that, and I think we're lucky to be able to do that.
So I have so many questions. No, I guess we'll start out with, so say you want to sign up. What is the fee, if you want to tell everybody? And then is it yearly, monthly? How does the membership work?
Sure. So right now we have a free plan, a monthly plan, and then for the next 15 days, we have a lifetime plan that we're offering. So it's free to sign up. It gives you 5 gigabytes of videos that you can upload and 25 gigabytes in the archive. Archive is like, once you finish a project, you can archive it, save it for your records. For monthly, it's 50 gigabytes of active and then 250 gigabytes of archive, and that's $7 a month. And then for I think the growth plan, which is $12.50 a month at this stage, I think it's 250 gigabytes of active and 500 gigabytes of archive. And then our lifetime plan, which is we're offering for the next 15 days, it's $99 for life. And it comes with 50 gigabytes of active, 250 gigabytes of archive. And that means every time we push a new update to the platform, we introduce the invoicing, the contracts, you get access to it, no additional fees. you're good to go for life. So that's something that we're going to help get early adopters on board to help us grow this thing bigger and better, and to get feedback from them, and just to kind of have everyone have a kind of a seat at the table. So we're really excited about that.
How can people give you feedback? Are you reaching out to people who have signed up, or is there a way people can write into you?
Yeah, of course. So every new user that signs up, we send them an auto email, but it just drops my personal email and my partner's personal email, and just say, hey, anytime you want to get hold of us, please do. We have a live chat as well on the website. So, and then, we have our podcast that we talk through with Learn Videography. We talk about a lot of the benefits of Jump Studios, but also just how to run that video business. And we love to talk to as many listeners as possible. And we have our Instagram channels, Industry Jump and Jump Studios. And then people can always find me on Instagram at JJ Englert. Again, this sort of thing doesn't happen just by one person. It really takes a community. It takes a ton of people coming together. And that's what we're looking for. So if you're interested in the platform, if you want to help us build it, or have thoughts of what we could do, or what content creators are missing, let us know. We're here.
So when you say content creator, my mind automatically thinks of like the people, on TikTok, YouTube, the people who are doing it all day, every day, and like the talent people. I'm not really thinking about like, oh yeah, who filmed that? But they need all of those people. They need lighting. They need people to film it. Scripts, whatever. If I'm a talent for content creation, is it a benefit to sign up on your site to find people to help build whatever I want to film?
Yeah, I think you could do it on the flip side. So if you wanted to hire contractors to film stuff for you, but then have them use the video review suite to make it really easy for you to approve those videos, then you can get it as well. But we're really focusing on the folks that are running their solo video business right now. Again, they do 5, 10, 15 videos a month for events, real estate, wedding, web videos. Like, there's just so many types of content being created right now, and content is king, and you just need more of it than ever, especially short form. So we wanted to make it really easy for you to make a lot of it really professionally, really quickly.
Okay, cool. So who do you see the most of in content creation? Why do you see like the most like wedding videographers, or like who do you see the most on your site?
Right now, it's music video videographers doing a lot of music videos. Maybe that's just because that's where my following comes from. I was a semi-popular music video producer, and some of our investors are influencers that we work with, like Jacob Owens is in the music video realm as well. So maybe that's just where our audience comes from, but music videos is very popular for us. After that, it just goes into commercials, online web videos. And then I think tertiary is like real estate and wedding. But all of those industries, like anytime you need to make a video and turn it around to a client for client work, like that's us, and so that's kind of everything these days. So I'm really bullish on the content creation space and really excited about it.
I have to ask you now, can you name drop some music videos that you've done?
Kalani, Major Lazer,
Yep.
Mac J. Yeah, I've been in the room with some great folks. And so it's been an honor. Some of them have been really crazy. I have stories for days of what's gone on. But yeah, I've really enjoyed my time in the music scene. But I also made feature films as well. I have a feature film on Netflix called Faith, Hope, and Love that I co-directed and co-produced. And then some commercial stuff for like Mission Impossible that I did with Paramount, and some other stuff.
That's awesome. No, those are some big names that you dropped there. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So one of my questions that I have here is, does Industry Jump sync with Jump Studios? And if so, can you explain how?
Yeah, so right now they don't at the moment. They're two different profiles, two different communities. But the idea is that if Jump Studios turns into what we think it will be, then we're going to rebuild it together, and it's going to sync together in a very cohesive way. But being so new that it is, we just wanted to keep it separate. We wanted to make sure that we just put those features first, test it. Once we validate it, then we'll bring it all together.
What's your favorite feature or favorite features for Jump Studios?
Yeah, it's definitely the video review. Like It's weird because that was the hardest thing that we had to build. Like video review on a technical standpoint is very difficult. You have to upload the videos, you need to process them, you need to encode them, and then you need to play them back without buffering. So you need to match your internet user speed, and then give them a playback file that matches that. So we render out like a 720 version, a 1080 version, all that kind of stuff, and automatically replay that back to the user. And then the whole annotation part on screen, having those pixels and coordinates for those things, and then the time code. It was very difficult, but we knew that if we could do that, we could deliver on the rest. So we just wanted to make sure that we could deliver on the video review, and we did. And so now we feel like it's not downhill, but we have a good advantage to get to the rest of it. Yeah.
Jen, when you saw the site and the features and stuff, were you like, oh my gosh, that's everything I need and everything I would want, like for video review and everything? Are there other features that you're like, oh yeah, they should do that too?
Well, I mean,
live review right here.
I did have a question about if I could export like all the notes in a written form, in some sort of PDF or Excel or something.
Yeah, that's such a good question. At the moment, no, but we have a plan for 2 stages. So the next stage that we plan to do is, just a PDF. And then the second stage is Premiere file, and you just bring it right into Premiere and all its time coded right there
fancy.
for you.
Yeah.
So
okay.
that's the goal, and that's what we're working towards.
Yeah.
Not quite there yet, but that's where we want to get to.
Yeah, I mean, I could that often after I'm working with someone giving me notes, then I want to have a list somewhere that I can go back and forth,
Yeah.
If it's not a ton of notes, it's not a big deal. But if you get something where you have like, 50 things you're trying to address, then having some way to see that. So that's cool. I mean, the second stage sounds really cool.
Just to comment quickly, the notes thing is hard because so much of it is visual. You want to be able to show them where those annotations are, so when we do notes, we also want to almost do screenshots with those notes. So you can just print it out of the screenshot with the visual annotation and then the actual text, because if you just bring it down to a spreadsheet, it's like, shoot, I lost that visual indicator that they gave me.
Right.
So we really want to like redesign that and just make it so easy to just like, hey, print out your notes, give it to your editor, or just email it to your editor or whoever. Or that you could just invite your editor to that project. They can just go to that review sheet, see it for themselves.
Right. Yeah, that's really great. Yeah, that was the only question I had as I was looking at it. Otherwise, I felt also your lifetime price sounds pretty amazing. So I think that's, I think you're also, it sounds like you're sensitive to, people that are needing this are needing, they don't have, $10,000 to throw into it too.
Right.
So
there's some other players.
Right.
There's some other players in this space. But they focus really on the enterprise clients. They focus on the studios. They focus on large contracts. And they aren't building with the individual content creator in mind. And that's where we are really focusing, is just that individual content creator, those solo ops or just small teams, and how can we help them? And then we'll grow into more of a team-based, group-based system, but really just focusing on that solo creator at the beginning, making it affordable for them, making it really simple for them to use. A lot of creators that we've spoken with, they don't use a system yet. They might use Dropbox, they might use Asana, they might use QuickBooks, they might use PayPal, Cash App, so many things all not sync together, or they don't communicate. They've made their own system. They Frankenstein their own system, right?
Right.
And that works for them, but that doesn't really work in the long run. Like when you go to onboard a new employee, how are you going to teach them how to do all this stuff and whatnot? And so by doing that, you're not positioning yourself to scale. And what's the point of working so hard if you're not going to grow your business to get to somewhere maybe bigger and better, or to get a better lifestyle or better work-life balance, So you want to lay that foundation now so you can build a profitable business company that you don't have to be on set every single day for, or, that you can hire other team members and they can get onboarded really quickly and just start helping you. And so we want to help creators have the foundation to do that. And a lot of the things that we're doing now is to be able to seamlessly hand over these projects to them, add new people, add contractors, just have them jump in, get going, deliver what they need to, and then get going. And that's just, a more of a scalable system. So we're trying to help in that regard. It's a lot. And we have to do a lot of education. That's one of the things we really want to focus on is a lot of how-to videos, a lot of webinars, a lot of live trainings of just, teaching people how to use it, how to run that video business. That's why we have the podcast. We talk about how to get paid, how to use contracts, how to do corporations for your business. What kind of business banking should you do? There's so much that goes into it, and it's not the sexy stuff. But if you want to succeed as a video business owner, you need to know the business. And the quicker that you can know the business, the better you can become with it, the easier it gets, and then the more you can focus on the creative. So that's why we try to teach a lot with the podcast, and then we build a lot of the tools to go with that.
So a quick question about the invoicing feature that's to come now. And when you said QuickBooks, it made me think of this. Will there also be a feature where they can be like, they can set up their banking or whatever, so they're paid to do that?
Ideally, that's the goal, right? We want to make this as easy as possible. I don't want to promise everything because it takes a lot to build everything, but we would love to be able to integrate with QuickBooks, have that very seamless. If there's ways that we can automate or help streamline this process, we're going to do it. So we're looking into all of those things. We just don't know exactly what we can deliver on that front at the moment, but that's our goal.
That's pretty cool. And then I was also going to ask, your timeline of like what you would ideally like it to be for the next few phases.
Yeah, great question. So we want to have everything live before end of the year, the full platform, bells and whistles before end of the year, shooting for like a November, December, maybe even a little bit earlier release of everything. And then spend, the winter for filmmakers, that time is really kind of slow. And we want to spend that time educating, onboarding, getting everyone ready for that next push going into spring and summer and whatnot. So that's our plan right now. But technology is really hard, quite frankly, and we have a small team. And we will do our best to get there. Like if you look on our webpage, it says like fall-ish or September-ish, like we're trying to under promise and over deliver everything we do, and so part of that is just being really transparent, just communicating where we are. We have a live roadmap of what features we are doing next, what features are in progress, and then you can suggest what features you want and you can vote on it. So just making that available to the public, because again, this takes a lot of people to make it happen. So trying to be transparent, trying to have everyone at the table, and to get this going.
Awesome. So we've been talking a lot about Jump Studios, but there's also Industry Jump. And so what is the benefit of having a profile on Industry Jump?
Yeah, so, Industry Jump, the hiring side has slowed down since COVID, unfortunately. It's starting to come back and starting to get more popular. I think right now the biggest thing with Industry Jump is twofold. We have a community of over 5,000 professionals, right? And it's an open community. So you can look up any of those professionals and reach out to them and connect with them, set up phone calls and network with them, right? And that's an underutilized tool that is really helpful for building your relationship and your network as a filmmaker. And that network is so much about who we are and the jobs we get. So that's one of the things I love is just how easy it is to connect with any community member there. And Industry Jump is totally free. You can create a free portfolio. You can connect with people for free. You can get hired for free. And then the second thing that I just love is our mentoring suite. So like I said earlier, we have over 60 different mentors that teach all aspects of filmmaking, from very small to very big. And we have a synced video chat system. So you can just hop in a video chat room with your mentor via Industry Jump. And some of the sessions are free and some of them are paid. Some of the paid sessions are like $1 a minute or $2 a minute. You just set a timer, and at the end of it, it's automatically billed to that mentor. And all the payment is really quick and easy. So the mentoring is huge too, because we've seen so many of those go on to create real relationships where maybe they mentored with someone twice, and then that person invited them to shadow them on set, and then they became their assistant, and they worked with, real relationships happen like that. And as young filmmakers looking to grow into new roles or positions, or to see what a career outlook might look, we have some phenomenal people, like people that have won VMA awards as mentors right now. This year, just won a VMA award in producing or cinematography or directing. There's great talent there in all levels that you can access. for very little money. So that's, I think, probably my favorite aspect right now about Industry Jump is just the ability to connect with other filmmakers and to talk shop with them and to learn from them and to create relationships with them.
That mentoring program is really, really cool and probably extremely beneficial to
Yeah,
filmmakers getting into the industry. That's great.
right.
Um,
Yeah,
question for both of you.
sure.
What are your thoughts on the future landscape of the industry? JJ, we'll have you go first.
I think content is going to just continue to go up. I think you need content everywhere. Brands that we're seeing now, creators are delivering all kinds of assets, TikTok or, YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reels and Instagram posts and Facebooks and all different kinds of ad dimensions for different kinds of ad placement. Like the list for deliverables now is just like getting longer and longer, and that's great. That means you can deliver a lot more content and make more money, and I think that's where it's going. A lot of media, I think, is going to continue to be short form, and I think it's going to get real personal. I think some of the polishedness of having a 20-30 person crew is going to go away, and it's just going to be someone talking in front of a camera, and it's just going to be real relationships trying to sell stuff or advertisements or whatever it may be. I think we're going to see less polish but more content on the short form side. And then I think on the long form side, I think the big studio films for the most part are going to go down. And then long form like Netflix, VOD stuff is going to continue to boom. And that race is kind of just getting started. So I think the short form, low budget stuff is booming. I think the middle, I come from the indie world of like really micro budgets of like $500,000 or less for a feature. I think that will continue, but I'm afraid for the world of like 1 million to 10 million. I'm afraid for that world. That's really tough right now. It's hard to get your money back there. So I think it's going to be really short form, low budget stuff, and you're just making a lot of it, or that Netflix, HBO, Showtime, 60 million, $100 million series online, and then a studio flick for like the blockbusters. That's my idea.
Jen, what about you?
I like that. I think that I think if what you as a creator, if you're interested in making things that are really polished, I think if you're really interested in craft, I think the thing that's great about where we're going is that there's an appetite for short form, which means that
Yeah.
you could take less investment, less money, make
Hmm.
something really polished that has some place to go without it having to be, well, if I want to do that, if I want to do really outstanding craft, I got to have the money to span 90 minutes, and that
Right.
gets really tricky because there's less and less appetite for it. So I think on the other side of what he's saying, I mean, I agree. I also think that if what you want to do is polished and high level craft, you have new ways to distribute that
Hmm.
that make it possible. And I think that the both things you've talked about with mentorship and with it becoming more personal, I think we're going to see more and more diversity of content. I mean, a
Hmm.
voice that previously there wasn't space for because
Or
the
staged. Yeah.
gatekeepers, the people that were making decisions were
Yeah.
myopic in what they thought the world should see. Now there's a demand at every level to see and hear from everybody.
Yeah.
If you have something to say, I still think at the end of the day, you need to have something to say. But I think the door is opening finally to more people. And I would say that one thing about your hiring platform that's also exciting is that it does help eliminate some of that gatekeeping to make
Yeah.
people that are truly qualified, that are invisible at the higher levels because of our biases, become visible. And
Yeah.
that's a mandate of mine as a producer, is to make my crews look more like the world,
Yeah.
and not just like Hollywood. And so I think, any platform that expands that is going to look more like, I think, what the industry is going to eventually catch up to.
Yeah, and just a quick note on that. I think one thing that we didn't talk about is just the cost for gear. It's just getting so low that the barrier for entry there too is really easy. And so you have a ton of creators with a huge platform, I mean, you can go viral on TikTok in like 10 seconds these days, and then access to phenomenal gear, shooting 4K, 6K, 8K. For content creators, I don't think there's a better time right now. Like, this is the time. And like, one of the most popular things that kids want to be these days are YouTubers. Like, it's like a top 5 career. Like, I want to be a YouTuber, and you can be a YouTuber. That's the cool part, is there's an opportunity for everybody in the content space to create their own voice, to create their own avenue, their own path. Like, I was seeing something the other day, like the second most famous TikToker, all he does is he creates kind of like funny faces of watching other TikToks, and like almost like like a live meme and
Angry
whatnot,
reactions.
right? And it's like,
yeah, that's
what? People love it. That's fantastic. If that makes you happy, do it. You're creating content. You're creating a future for you. So there's a million things that you can do. One of the things, I always go to this example because I love it, but like 5 years ago at TIFF, one of the best films there it was just a screen recording of a teenager going through a breakup with his girlfriend. And there was a little bit of a live chat on like a live video feed of like a Skype, but most of the film just happened on like Facebook, social media, a screen recording. They didn't use any real cameras other than their laptop to film. And they told a phenomenal story, like a really good story through that device. And so it's like, you don't need a really fancy camera. You don't need a lot of stuff to tell a good story these days. It's just important of how you tell that story and the story that you're telling. And I think content creators have an abundant amount of opportunity to do that, and a stage to get it out there. And I'm really excited to see kind of what happens in the future.
That's awesome. And yeah, the guy you were talking about on TikTok is very funny. He just like does reactions to every video. Well, we've covered a lot today, and thank you both for being here. And is there anything that Jen or JJ you want to kind of that we didn't talk about or didn't cover?
If you are interested in learning more about me, check out our Learn Videography podcast. We have over 40, maybe even 50 episodes now. They're hour-long episodes, and we've interviewed like everybody, but then we also go into lectures of each subject of like how, the best gear for video businesses, and how to find your niche, and how to break through, and so many different things. And so that's something that we've been working on for the last 12 months. We've put a lot into it. We've shared as much as possible. And of course, it's free. It's a podcast on all avenues of Apple Podcasts, Spotify, etc. It's called Learn Videography. Check it out. I think you'll enjoy it if you're looking to build a business as a content creator. And then, of course, head on over to jumpstudios.io/lifetime to get our lifetime deal for the next 15 days for $99 for life.
And where can people find you on Instagram?
At JJ Englert, ENGLERT.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, JJ. This has been wonderful. And Jen, promote yourself a little bit. Where can people find you?
Oh, sure. I think you can find me metamorphic.com with a F, not a PH, metamorphic. That's where you can find links to my features. I'm also Jen, not Ben, on Twitter.
Great name. That's awesome. Well, thank you to all of our viewers who are here today. And if you want to check out this episode or past episodes, you can head over to the Shoots.video YouTube page. As always, I'm Sarah Marintz, voice actor, and you can find me at sarahmarintz.com. And we will see you all next time. Thanks, JJ. Thanks, Jen. You might be looking at Shoots.video and thinking, so how does this all work? Is this about A, setting up the whole crew for me? B, just giving me options and having me handle it? Or C, something in between? Well, it's D, all of the above. To put it simply, we're here to help you in any way that we can to get the crew and talent you need for your next production. We believe that every level of video production can benefit from a well-maintained list of qualified crew members for every position. This goes for pre-pro, on-set, and for post. Every project is different, so if you need a producer to help manage the decision-making process, then we can totally do that. If you're already a producer and want to build your own crew from scratch, then go for it. We're here to make your next production a success. And if you are crew or talent looking for producers that want you, then you've come to the right place. Sign up now, and also leave a referral for any solid people that you know that are already on here. Thank you for considering Shoots.video, and happy shooting!